So, welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Today we're going to speak about three different players. The first one we'll start off with is Granit Xhaka, and that deal looks like it is about to be done. All the reports that are going around today suggest that it's just a case of haggling over £1 million or £2 million difference between where we are on our valuation of him and where Hertha Berlin are on their valuation. Now, the fees that I've seen are anywhere between £21 and £25 million. I reckon we're probably selling for about 23, probably right down the middle, and I think that, listen, he's been here 3 years, and I don't think he's done anything fantastic. I did this yesterday, so I ain't going to harp on about him forever. But I think let's just get the deal done as soon as the January window opens. Bye bye, Granit Xhaka. See you later. Wish you well, and go and play your football over in Germany, where I think you'll actually do a lot better in a different league. But yeah, I do think that deal will be done. It's looking like it's getting ever closer to being done. And the fact that Mikel Arteta's not really come out and said anything about it, he's not come out and said that he wants to keep him or anything like that, suggests that the club are open to it being done. You know, and like I said, all the reports that are going around at the moment, plus the fact that his agent came out and said that they've agreed personal terms, I think that's pretty much all in all done. Now let's move on to somebody who could be his replacement, and that is Adrien Rabiot. Now, we were all over this guy apparently in the summer, and it was somebody that, firstly, I didn't want him. I don't think he's that great a player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's that great. I think his attitude, the way he comes out with certain comments last summer, the way his agent came out with certain things, he then sacked his agent, who was his mum, I believe. He sacked his mum and then hired another agent, and he just talked so much rubbish. And for him, it was all about going to Juventus because they paid the biggest signing on fee. Now, he's been there, 8 months, 7 months, something like that. Hardly featured in any of the games. And now he wants to leave. And obviously Arsenal have gone in for him, again, like we did in the summer. And I think he would actually be suited more to the Premier League. I think he's a lot better than Granit Xhaka. But there's just something not quite there with this guy where I sit there and I just think, not really seeing it, mate. I don't get the hype. I never really have got the hype. He looked great at PSG, but come on, they've got the best team in the deadest league. So for me, it's been a little bit not too sure about him. I'm sure we can do a lot better than Adrien Rabiot, but I do think there is smoke and fire with this one. I think it's definitely somebody we're in for. It's definitely somebody that we could get as well. I don't think it'd be all that expensive. I know we signed him up to a long deal. I don't think it'd be that expensive. Probably around the £23 million mark, which we'll probably get for Granit Xhaka. Is he better? Yes. Is he that much better? Not for me. I don't think he's that great. Leave it in the comments and let me know what you think about him. But like I said, I just don't get the hype around him, and I never really have. Listen, he might come in, he might do a really good job for us, and I might be sitting there going, right, I was so wrong with that one. But he might come in and absolutely flop. Who knows? It's the unknown. And it's always the unknown when you sign a player from outside of this league and bring them into this league. You never really know what they're going to do. Even sometimes when you sign a player from one club to the next in the Premier League, it's always a risk. But I'd rather go for somebody, if we're going to replace Xhaka, that's played in the Premier League. Because for me, it's a less of a risk than it is signing somebody that has gone to Juve 7 months ago and now wants to leave. For me, that just kind of sums up his whole mentality and his whole character. He run his contract down at PSG so he could get the biggest deal. And listen, fair play to him, he's entitled to do that. But at the same time, he had about 8-9 clubs chasing after him and went for the one who paid him the most money. Now he wants out after 7-8 months. Sorry, that ain't the kind of guy that I want at the football club. I want somebody who's actually going to graft, doesn't matter how much money he's on, and put a shift in every single week for the better of the team. Not somebody who's all about himself and taking the biggest paycheck. Sorry, that ain't for me. So listen, leave it in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about, firstly, Granit Xhaka going, and secondly, Adrien Rabiot. We're going to move on to a story that I see today, and I had to read it twice because I didn't believe it. And that was Upamecano. Again, another player that we were linked to all summer. Apparently we put a bid in for £70 million. And the reports going around today suggest that he could go for as little as 40 million. Now, I may be stupid, but where's the other 30 million gone from the summer? I know that they're interested in signing again a player from PSG. called Tungai Kouassi. He's a centre-back. I think he's only about 17 or 18 years old. He, again, has run his contract down in France, I believe. And they're very, very close to signing him. Obviously, they've got Konate as well. So they're probably thinking, well, look, we can cash in on him, blah, blah, blah. But 40 million? Really? I don't understand how there's 30 million just disappeared. That's nearly half price. Why is it cut price? I know that when I've done videos about that guy, a lot of you guys in the comments have said that Konate is the better defender, he's the better player. For me, I'd take both. Put both of them in our defence and we're instantly a better team. But I just think that there's something not right for that to be 40 million. Either the stories are a load of rubbish or the £70 million bid that we apparently put in the summer was a load of rubbish. Is he worth 70 million? Probably not. He's what, 21 years old? Yes, he's a very good centre-back, don't get me wrong. He's somebody I'd take in a heartbeat at Arsenal because I do think he's absolutely class. Is he worth 70 million at 21 years old? No. Is he worth 40 million? Well, yeah, I probably think he is. I think that's worth a punt at 40 million pounds. He's young enough to go on and progress. Again, it comes back to what I just said a minute ago, though. You're coming from a league that isn't that great to the Premier League, which is unforgiving and swallowed up bigger and better names. You've got to have some serious mentality about you, and especially if you're coming in for a big transfer fee like he would. But £40 million seems about right in terms of price tag, but it just seems so cheap compared to the prices that were thrown about by the same journalist, by the way, 7-8 months ago, saying it's 70 million. So I don't get what's happened. Can somebody tell me if I missed a trick here or something? But yeah, listen, we don't need to go on and list all the things that are good with Upamecano. We all know he's a great centre-back, a decent centre-back. Another centre-back, and the last person I'm actually going to speak about is Koulibaly from Napoli. Now, again, this one is a cut price. I don't get what all this cut price is. Now, listen, I see a lot of people yesterday saying about Koulibaly and his cut price and his this and that's rubbish. He's got a buyout of 120 million, this and that. I think with him, the reason it's a cut price is because that club is in turmoil right now. And there's going to be a massive fire sale. A lot of their players are going to leave. I think Allen will leave. I think Insigne will leave. Callahan will leave. He'll leave. And maybe a few others. I know they've got a couple of other players in the team that are half decent. So maybe soon as one or two leave, the rest will follow suit. But that club is in turmoil. They've got Gattuso as manager. Maybe Gattuso don't fancy Koulibaly. I don't know. I think that they could get a lot more than 50 million quid for him, which is what I read the other day, which I then put out on the channel. But for £90 million, we could go and get two of the best centre-backs in the land and in the world. And that would make us a lot better. £90 million in the grand scheme of things is not a great deal of money when you're getting Koulibaly and you're getting Upamecano. Put them both side by side in our defence, add Tierney to that, Bellerin on the other side, then go and buy a proper central midfielder if we're getting rid of Granit Xhaka. All of a sudden, you've got the makings of a proper football team. You've got the solid defence, you've got a decent midfield, and then we've already got the attackers who score goals anyway. So, I don't know. Listen, the January transfer window opens in a couple of days. I'm sure that some of these stories are going to pick up even more pace by then. And I do fully expect one of them two to leave. Whether they leave in January or not remains to be seen. But listen, I'll take both of them in a heartbeat. As for Rabiot, no thanks. Stay where you're at, bruv. And as for Granit Xhaka, bye, mate. Have a good time in Germany. I wish you well. But listen, I will be back later on this evening. I will be doing the 5 o'clock stream. I will be doing the 9 o'clock stream. I know I didn't do it yesterday, but I will be doing that. That'll be my preview to the Chelsea game. The 5 o'clocker, I'm going to do my combined 11, which is what I was going to do at 9 o'clock last night. So I'm going to do the Chelsea-Arsenal combined 11, and then at 9 o'clock I'll drop my preview for that. So listen, do subscribe if you're new. Do share the content around. Stick a like on the video as well. Don't forget, also go and check out my social media platforms. They are in the description. And tomorrow, don't forget, I will be doing a watch-along as per usual with Guna Eagle Eye. So catch us on the channel tomorrow when the game is on. Go subscribe to him. His link is in the description as well. Until 5 o'clock, I'm out of here. Laters, Pete.